you, what inspired you to start the PANALOVE Foundation?
Well, I was inspired by the fact that I'm a musician and I had a fan base, and I really love the idea of entertaining people, making them happy, making them dance, and letting them go home. But I wanted to do more because I'm educated. I came from a certain level of privilege and access, and I wanted to use that privilege to uplift my people. So I decided to put together a platform that educates people on health and wellness because I'm concerned with the health and wellness of my people, and I wanted to do something important and impactful to push those feelings out and make something happen in my community.
What brings you here today?
Okay, so today we are having our PANALOVE Summit. Yes, and most of it is about women. Yes, that doesn't mean we don't need the guys.
Okay.
Yes, but it's mostly about women, our health, especially our mental health as well. So that's it.
Okay. The PANALOVE Summit concentrates on women and youth. Why only women and youth?
Okay, you see, although men have certain circumstances that hinders them from getting into the crowd or the public, we women have a lot at stake. So it will be very difficult. We have many organizations tackling women issues and stuff, but we have a lot of things to tackle, and one organization alone can't handle everything. So we do that in bits. With PANALOVE Summit, it's also about some aspect of women issues that we are handling. So that's why we have many women on board.
I came here to learn more about mental health and how it connects to personal growth and business. That's why I came here.
So what would be your expectation for this PANALOVE Summit?
Well, at the end of the summit, I hope that I will get to know more about it and how I will connect it to my life. Yeah.
Then enjoy it.
Thank you.
Why are you here this morning?
Okay, so please, I learned they are having a seminar about mental health, and that's why I'm here.
So what will be your expectation from this program?
Okay, as a young person or as a youth growing up, we face a lot of challenges and we go through a lot, and that can affect our mental health in any way. So I'm here to know what we can do when we face such problems, or what we can, or the measures we can put in place to help reduce things that will help strain our mental health.
Your name?
I'm Vera.
And then enjoy the program. Enjoy the program.
Thank you. Bye.
To this summit.
Okay, so I'm here for the PANALOVE Summit, and then I'm here to learn a lot of things. So I'm a student, and then mental health, is my priority because I go through stress and then hard times, learning, studying, organizing, volunteering at the same time. So I'm kind of occupied, and then sometimes I feel very stressed. So I came here to learn some ways to manage stress and then my health. Health.
So what is your expectation for the summit?
Okay, so I just hope that I can be given the opportunity to express myself on mental health, and I also hope that I'm able to get the solutions to my mental health problems.
I'm here to learn more about mental health and then be aware about mental health.
So expectation for this PANALOVE Summit.
Okay, so my expectation is to have self-improvement, self-development, and then I believe by the end of the summit, I'll be more resilient. I'll know more about my mental health, and I want to believe it's a holistic care. So I have to have a healthy mind and a healthy body, as well as to improve my business.
Are you a health person?
Yes,
So what are you into?
I'm a general nurse.
What final message do you want to send out to our viewers who are watching us who couldn't make it to this third summit for the next year?
Okay, so hopefully PANALOVE will be next year, God willing. And then I want you to follow us on our social media handles. And then you can, whilst you follow us, when it's time for the next summit, you can join us.
Thank you and enjoy the program.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.
I go, okay, now I'm going to try mine. Pampana. Okay, so I'm going to do a very good one. So when I say pampana, the response is right? Can we all try it together? Pampana. Have some energy. Pampana. I like the sound of that. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for making time to be with us today. My name is Mr. Selassie, and I'll be your MC for the rest of today. At any point in time, if you need any support, please help us. Then I'll be there to address your needs. Just before we start, I'm a very playful human being. I play for work. And so I like to please answer everything I do. So at this point, I'm going to answer everyone. Please drop your phones, drop your bags, just kindly rise to your feet. It's just a very productive. So for those who just joined us, I know we said it's a free event, but like I told those who were here earlier, not actually a payment. Some of them have already made a payment. Please, who remembers what the payment is? Yes, can you tell me the payment? Just a smile. Just a smile. So please, can I have a payment of just a smile as we get ready to start? Okay, thank you so much. So just before we get into the program, I want to help us reconnect with our inner children. So I know some of you are coming from, high profile places, but I'm taking you back to 12, 13. Do bear with me. It's going to be a bit interesting journey. So it's going to be a very short game, very, very short game. And it's do as I say, not as I do. So that's the rule for the game. Just do as I say and not as I do. Please, are we clear? For indulging in our game. I hope you had a good time with the game and you're all relaxed and ready for today's activity. Mystifying what it means and then also coming together to build a roadmap, so to speak, on how we can add value to ourselves, how we can make society more comfortable, safer, and better for everyone around us. And so as we go through the day, I want you to keep that at the back of your mind. Number one, very safe space. Number two, open door conversations. Feel very comfortable as well. If you want to share with us, do that with us. We want to learn from each other so that as we walk away, we'll all be empowered with new information, new knowledge, and also a better experience of our lives. And so at this point, we'll be getting ready to have our very, very first session. And as we get ready for that, I just want you to think through and consider this as well. What else? If you don't bingo in our seats, bingo, 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 closer, 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 closer. Okay, so bingo 3, bingo 3, bingo 3, bingo 3. So form a group of 3, bingo 3. Form a group of 3, bingo 3. Mango 3. Do we have a group of 3? Pampana. Awesome. So what I want you to do in your groups of 3, get to know the other person, of course, get to know their names. And then the question I ask, what does mental health mean to you? Just have a very short 1-minute conversation about that. And then we'll get back to our seats and then we'll start the session. So I'm giving you 1 minute, get to know each other and what mental health means to you. as you discuss, appoint one person who will speak on behalf of the group. Choose amongst yourselves one person who will speak. And I encourage you to surprise the one who doesn't want to speak for you. Surprise them. That's why you are pleased. Who is the majority? Surprise the person. And that person will sum up your discussion for us. We should be wrapping up now. Has everyone had a chance to share their thoughts? Okay. All right, Pampana. I see some people are discussing SDG 18. They are trying to introduce it into the letters. I see that happening over here. It's fine. We'll take it. Okay, so final call. Wrapping up in 10 seconds for everyone. Some people are discussing world hunger in the corner over there. These people are solving all the world's problems right here. Okay, I think we can bring our discussions to a close. All eyes on me. All eyes on me. Hey, what's my response? All eyes on me. Pampana. Those who are solving the current war that is trying to brew, thank you all very much. Prince, I like the way you are discussing, like I said. You see, there were the ones for SDG 18, they're trying to make it. Awesome. Okay, so if I could have everyone's attention, thank you all so much. I hope you had a good conversation. So I'm going to pass the mic around. So, like I said, surprise someone. We'll have one person who's going to sum up your discussion for us, and then we can jump into the conversation. Who wants to?
Life stresses. So whilst you don't have the balance to cope with a life stress, we are saying that your mental health is being disrupted.
Okay.
I think that's what it says.
Wow. Thank you very much. Actually, you can pass it to the next show. Feel free to surprise someone.
Okay, so my name is Prince. And then we also discussed about mental health. One of my colleagues said that when we need to recover from something, and then we bring the best out of the situation immediately. And then one person also said that when you are able to something that is going through your mind, when you to overcome it, then you see the signs of let's say you are getting the signs of you are not responding to your signs when someone comes to you are not responding. So those are the signs of mental health. So that when you see those signs, you have to speak to someone or your health.
Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. Please give a round of applause for yourselves and kindly resume your seats. Thank you so much for indulging me in my dissertation. But I hope it has set a very good tone for conversations today. We've heard different things about mental health. We've all had different perspectives on it. And it's only right that
Okay. Good day, everybody. I'm not familiar with my voice. My voice made me so excited. I'm just laughing because of my medical condition.
I'm sorry.
So I was like, hey, have you crowned him? Alright, so I'm happy in the middle of this country because it has made the work very, very easy. Because I'm glad everybody has heard about mental health, the advocacy, the awareness, the stigma, the misconceptions. Because everything we said right now revolves around the things we want to talk about. So someone made mention that when she was young, she was hearing about mental health. She said stress is mental health. But she didn't understand. Because with her, all she knew was people who are spontaneous are the ones having mental issues. They are the ones we should impose for people with mental health problems. And another book has cleared that misconception, saying that before we can say we are mentally sound, we should be able to balance our dopamine and serotonin. Mental health is more important than mental health. This is very, very untrue. Because they go hand in hand. If I wake up today and I am of sound mind, there is no way I'll walk and pray. Because I am of sound mind. But if I should wake up today, really depressed, thinking about an insult someone made on me, thinking about some financial problem I'm having in the house, thinking about some F9s I had in my examination, do you think I am of sound mind? No. So definitely, it will lead to stress. If I am unable to talk about it, like our sister said, if I am unable to handle it, now it makes me detached from society. Now I can't communicate with people because already the stress is making me feel like she's assured that immediately I enter this department, nobody knows me there. Confidentiality is assured. So she has it in mind that she's going to pour out whatever is troubling her, and then she'll get the answers to it. But to an outsider, immediately they see her going forward. You see that lady is good. The way she's dressed nice. Or there is also, she's on medication. Which medication? I don't know. I saw her from the psychiatric clinic. I mean, it doesn't sound. So at the end of the day, she's being stigmatized for something she knows nothing about. But the same person stigmatizing someone, and that same person that you are stigmatizing has seen you going to see a diabetic specialist. That we seem to be normal. You are someone with hypertension, and we know if you are a man and have hypertension, gradually, your destiny doesn't function. So if we should also stigmatize who we think will be hurting them. Because as you are dressed nicely and you are going, and we know your medical condition, we know that after some time, the pride in front of you may not be able to work. But we are not talking about it. But if you see us going to the mental unit, you feel like we are the only people who need help. So today, we want to tell ourselves that upon all that we know, because it's not like it's news to us. Okay, what you said, I wouldn't go into details because we know what we are saying. So the only thing we are coming to say today is that we are using this opportunity to preach it more. People heard it, but they are not doing it. The awareness has been created, but we are not practicing it. We are not practicing it. So today we should tell ourselves that we are having stresses, things that are giving the brain too much work to do. And the brain and the mind, the body and our businesses are interconnected. If today I am not sound, if I am anxious, if I am depressed, even if I should go to the hospital, my BP is rising, I'm having frontal headache because you're having stresses. You are stressed out. You start getting what? Migraine. Your business partners are here. You can't deal with them because you are not okay. So all we are saying is that today ends just preaching.
Conservative community that is Ghana, we find it hard to name things, to name BPD, schizophrenia, manic personality disorders, borderline personality disorders, bipolar disorders, because we feel like there's power in spoken word, and once we say these things, it gives them life. But for me, as someone who actually went through mental illness, had to go to an asylum, had to seek out a psychiatrist, had to go on medication, it took me 3 years of trying to figure out what was even wrong with me in the first place. And 3 years of trying to accept that there was something fundamentally that wasn't where it needed to be. Because that's the thing about the mind. The mind has great fortitude. It's amazing, it's powerful, but when you're going through things like schizophrenia, where the mind itself conjures things that, it might not necessarily be reality, you understand that the same thing that you're trying to heal is the same thing that may be out to get you. And so now you're in a situation where not only do you have to prove to everybody else like that you're sick, because it's not like, having a flu where the symptoms are there. You have to prove to people. You also have to prove to yourself, and then you also have to struggle against fighting the same thing that is trying to heal you. So how do you win when all your weapons are literally fashioned against you? And so it was when I was at a place like this that I wrote the song called Cold Blooded. To preface, I suffer from BPD. Basically, I can science it up and say that the part of my brain, the frontal cortex, my amygdala, the part that is responsible for regulating emotion is not as active as it should be. So there's a lot of activity when you look at the scans and stuff, and this is something that is medically backed, but in our society, it's just like, oh, you're emotional, you do too much, you for be hard. And these are the things that really worry me, because at that point, everybody had an opinion about myself at a time where I hadn't even been given the chance to develop one for myself. And so this is cold-blooded, and I hope that preface helps things a little bit.
To work towards solutions. So I did that. I went home. And when I went home that day, the first thing I thought about was, believe it or not, colorism. Because as a recording artist, it's something that I deal with all the time, every day. Colorism is pervasive. Colorism is everywhere in this world. There's nowhere that you can go that you're not going to experience or witness some form of colorism. And I've always thought that it was something so unfair. And I always wanted to do something about it. So I thought deeper, like, okay, colorism frustrates you, but what else? What's more? What's the implication? And that's when I started discovering skin cancer has a link to colorism, because skin cancer, for Black people, is linked to skin bleaching. Skin bleaching is also a very pervasive activity that we see on every corner of this earth. Anywhere where there's somebody of color, not just a Black person, not just an African, but Indian people, Caribbean people, anybody who has any hint of color, Filipino people, they bleach. And this is due to colonialism, white beauty standards, and a history of violence. And it hasn't gone away. Generation after generation, we are passing down this mentality, this colo mentality. And so the PANALOVE Foundation initially started as an educating, and I thought it was me, that they just didn't take me serious. I didn't know God on that time. I didn't know about that thing. I thought y'all just didn't like me. I thought y'all just supposed to take me serious. You know what I mean? I was upset, and I went through a lot that first year and a half. But I talk about this often in spaces like this because I want people to understand that I'm not a perfect person. I mess up all the time, and I have flaws and insecurities, and I go through depression just like you. And I think that's the formula, If you want to be successful, show your vulnerability. Because, if you don't, you'll make a mistake. And when you make that mistake in public, they won't have grace for you because you lied. You made us think you were perfect, and you weren't. And now we see that you're not perfect, and we feel scammed. Do you know what I'm saying? If you put your authentic face forward, and let's say you trip up and you make a mistake, you will see how much grace the world has for you because you never said you were a perfect person. And you let people know that you are a flawed individual and that yes, you might make a mistake and yes, you might piss some people off. Yeah, you might say the wrong thing sometimes. But you know what? There's something so beautiful about that vulnerability. There's something so relatable about that vulnerability and special. So that is the energy that I wanted to garner here today. Vulnerability, storytelling. Sarah, you did a beautiful, amazing job with that. Thank you so much. And so that's why we're here today, y'all, to really talk and get into some things. And you know, the audience, you guys can participate as well. You know, during the question time, I really encourage you guys to dig in because that's what we're here for. And that's what this is about. So welcome to the 3rd annual PANALOVE Summit. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Delasi. Please can we give another round of applause? And I think Delasi just gave me my biggest takeaway, vulnerability. I like how you put it in perspective and how relatable you made it as well. And I think, I'm not even going to attempt to say anything to it. I think we all got the message loud and clear. I'm just going to ask that we make a decision to be intentional about it. In Mubarak's speech, he said we should move away from, and even in Sarah's speech, let's move away from the talk shop. Let's put it into practice. Let's see some action with it. So as we move from here today, decide to be your authentic, vulnerable self. So if we ask you, how are you doing? Don't give us the, you know, there's a typical, how are you doing? Oh, I'm good, how are you doing? I'm blessed, how are you? Exact, all of that. Is that how you're really feeling though? Let's also learn to take some time to process. Learn to take some time to just sit and think. Ask yourself, Nipana Obana. She knows her stuff, and she's going to help us have some medically grounded perspective to what we're talking about today. So that as we move away, we're in a better position to learn and act more. So ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Professor Ikua Amoakutufo as she comes to give us the conversation. Thank you so much. So Delasi, I'll hand over to you to take over the session.
Hello, my darling. I love how you are dressing. Just give it up for the dress. And then the nails match the dress. You know what I'm saying? That's the stuff I live for. Yeah, you can clap for it. Because the nails match the dress. Yes. So can you just, I mean, you know, Celeste just gave this beautiful introduction. But I want you to give us a slightly deeper perspective into what you do and your experiences in the mental health space. Just for like 2 minutes, just give us a little more. Yes.
Well, thank you very much for inviting me to this. Mental health is one of my favorite things to talk about, so I'm looking forward to being here with everybody and to just enjoy, learn from, share what I know as far as mental health. So I work in mental health, as Alexi said. I sound really old when I said 20 years, but it has been 20 years in the game. And I work with individuals living with mental health conditions. So whether they're in hospital, in community, in our own communities, give talks in churches, to bring awareness to the fact that we're actually all on the spectrum of mental health. I know as a pharmacist you'll say that, well, I'm pushing medication. I am not. But there is a component that requires medication. But more than anything, it's just accepting that we all, at one time or another, are on this continuum and require grace to be extended to us, a place that we're safe and vulnerable. And that's what I've been using my career to try and promote. So that's me in a nutshell.
Beautiful, beautiful. Okay, well, my first question would be, how do cultural beliefs and spiritual influence mental health, or how is it understood in that scope of spirituality and culture here in Ghana?
So, culture and spirituality can have impact both positively and negatively. We do have occasions where individuals believe that they're hearing voices, and I'm not saying that you cannot, but they're hearing voices that are leading them to do certain things. Oh, this voice told me that I need to kill a child, and they may feel like it's the voice of God. So we have those individuals that are impacted. As a result, because we tend to hear more of their stories, though that's what makes people shy away from or exclude their family members because of the shame that is brought. So people don't seek help. That's the biggest stigma. Just because they don't want to appear a certain way, they don't want to be diagnosed. And sometimes people are actually that unwell, but they've been able to function that they don't actually know that they're unwell, if that makes sense.
That's a big one.
And we have a lot of people who, especially amongst women, we're mostly women here today, who are functional depressives or functional with anxiety. So they find ways to cope around their disease without actually knowing that they're unwell. And then, sorry, the second part of your question was?
The disparity between the generation, or is there?
I don't know if there's necessarily a disparity. I think that especially, I have noticed professionally since COVID, which was actually a huge shift for the whole world when it comes to mental health, but even just overall wellness, the younger generation seems to be more aware of, or they're able to vocalize when they're not feeling so well. So as I just made a comment of how every day you ask, oh, how are you? You say, oh girl, I'm fine. Yeah. Even though you know your world is crumbling. Right. Where the older generation looked at stress, looked at depression as some sort of lack of resilience, or psychological resilience, right? So if you depressed, then get up and do this, or somebody has it worse than you, go back to work, or, just the narrative, that sort of thing. So I don't know if it's more, or if it's actually that younger people are actually looking at lives, what it is.
Yeah, and I find that across the board in like a lot of discussions, even when we talk about things like religion, the younger generations are more openly skeptical, and also more unwilling to go for the okey doke, or what we've always been told. And going back to what you said about, somebody has it worse than you, that whole mentality of pick yourself off your bootstraps kind of thing, I think that is so toxic. And we need to let go of that, because this is not the oppression Olympics. Like, we're not playing who has it worse. I only have one life to live in this vessel, in this body. I want it to be the most joyous and healthy and celebrated life that it could possibly be, and that's all I'm trying to do. So,
and I think that on that note, I noticed that
because it is impactful in my life in many ways. It can even show physically, as you stated, some ways that some people are unorganized, not wanting to do certain things, and I can never let it get to that level. And these things are just constant reminders of how I will be, and I think I just want to thank you, and I actually think we should all clap for ourselves for even attending an event like this, because it steps towards, I think, better selves and a better nation, because a nation is formed by the people within it. So I think we're all doing a great job, so kudos to us. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
So when you were speaking, you talked about the importance of finding balance, and I kept thinking about it. And I thought about it because you are the second person saying this today, because Sarah also mentioned the same word earlier, balance. My question is there truly balance in this life? And I ask because, as a lawyer, I invited one of my colleagues here, Rachel. When you ask a lawyer to find a balance, then it's like asking the lawyer to do some magic. There are some transactions that come in, and then Rachel and I have worked on a couple of transactions. We start in the morning, we go to work early, and then we leave the following day. So at night, we'll be working on a transaction till 4 a.m., 5 a.m., and I'm now going home. When I came to work today at 6, I'm going home tomorrow at 5 a.m. And I'm going to shower and come back to work because there's another thing to do. And you are telling me that I should balance. How do I find balance in such situations with my profession?
That's a very relatable question, so thank you so much. My question to you would be, what does balance look like to you? Because I can tell you what I do, but that might not be balanced to you.
Very good.
So,
because I personally feel that balance is an illusion.
let's not think of it as an illusion. Let's think of it as something that can be defined by ourselves as individuals, in the sense that I work remotely. I start my day at 3 in the morning, and I work, and then I have my daughter, school pickup, parents, other responsibilities. For somebody that couldn't do that. They would struggle to find ways in which they balance. I know that dancing is important to me, writing is important to me, because it keeps me grounded and it helps me with my stress. Working out. So that's what I mean. What balances me may not balance you, but it shouldn't be considered an illusion. There's certain components. If you eat well, you'll feel better. If you make sure you're hydrated, you'll feel better. Find times that you can rest. I told myself every quarter I need to take a week off where I'm not thinking about work, where I'm not running up and down, and not feeling guilty about giving that to myself. If it's a long weekend, to try and find a way to rest. So I know it's difficult working in an office and yes, going at 6 in the evening and going 6 in the morning, going home the next day. It's also not sustainable. So find things that you can, bring you joy, bring you peace, and help you feel grounded as even during your day, and then take bigger chunks later on and see if that helps you.
Wow, thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, I think our wonderful panelists, our conversationalists, deserve a round of applause. So you want to say one more thing before we
go? But I feel like religion is our biggest problem in Ghana. Christianity, this extreme Christianity, is the biggest enemy of every single Ghanaian. Your Essence, if you're an Ewe, you know that your Essence is the God that you were created in His image. You are supposed to worship. Your Kra, is that correct? Your Kra. When you are in alignment, and you're in alignment with your Kra, everything moves and flows like it's supposed to. But when you're not in proper alignment with your higher self or your soul, everything that could go wrong does. And when you start worshiping something outside of yourself, you will notice you abandon yourself, you neglect yourself, you forget yourself. And that's one of the most powerful tricks that's been played on the African. One of the most powerful. Quite frankly, I think it may take about another 500 to 1,000 years to undo what was done. And as you listen to our music here in Ghana, the evidence is right there. It's all there. All you hear is, baby, I want to love you. You can chop my money. Let's go to party. You don't hear anything that actually speaks about going within, working on yourself, trying to get your finances together.
I don't see it for the ministry of, unless private people are doing it, I don't see the ministry of health doing anything on mental health or creating the awareness. Maybe my minister can tell me, but actually I don't think we are doing enough. From the legal side of things, I'm not a health lawyer, so I can't really go into that.
Wow, thank you so much. Maybe just before, I think I'll come back to you, Doc. My gentlemen, are we here? So I think, I like that you touched on that. Just before I come to you, I like that you touched on that because, it's interesting for almost all the guys I see here. If I ask you, Charlie, what's up? You did cool, right? You gave another choice. And I think it's rightly one of the things we need to highlight. The fact that as men, the expectation is that figure it out. That's why you are a man. And we don't appreciate sometimes just how much that pressure can drive a lot of young men into certain contexts, situations, experiences. And so, if we are able to get to a point where there are more conversations, yes, among the gentlemen, cool, but the expectations come largely from the women, if you agree with me. And so if that consciousness is not also there, how then do we get to a place where we can actually say, oh, men's mental health are being, I don't think a lot of men even consider mental health a thing, because all they know is, Charlie, you're a man, figure it out, that kind of thing. So, but that's a conversation for another time.
You think that the sickness translates that I'm suffering. You see that a man has faces, a man has survived.
And the question I usually have to that is, what makes it so? It's because of how typically it will be interpreted by women. A lot of women here today will tell you, I'm not saying, no, this not even a blame game at all. I think the whole point is, the conversation is so nuanced such that we need to appreciate the fact that it comes from different perspectives. Men on their side need to start deconstructing all those perceptions of patriarchy, the implications of it, and what that also means, especially to life as it is now, right? A lot more men need to learn to be more vulnerable. Now, they can start by finding that vulnerability amongst other men who can. So, for instance, I know a lot of people, I have a number of friends, but there are particular people I speak to about certain issues. There are things I'm only speaking to my guys about because I know they understand and can appreciate it. And for me to say, talk to a female friend and say, Charlie, I'm stressed, I don't have money this week, or things like that, Charlie, go hard. I'll talk to my guy first. Right? But how many guys would even want to have that conversation with another guy? Because there's also expectations. Charlie, you be big boy. When they see you big boy, I'm sure by now someone is looking at me, Charlie, see the way you shout. Expectation is hard. So there's pressure everywhere, right? So the point is, it's up to me to know that in as much as I may be feeling all of this pressure, I should be able to have a safe space that I can Charlie. So I have a best friend, she's in the US right now, and she'll be getting married soon. And we've been talking about, the preparations and everything. Sometimes we can just talk for 2 hours. And you see that by the end of the conversation, everyone feels lighter. Because marriage is not easy, it's pressure. And understand. And sometimes we just end up talking about random things, but eventually come back and like, oh, I feel better. Charlie, let's go on with the planet, right? So I think for the men here, it's really important that you find your tribe. Find a safe space where you can have those difficult conversations. It's wonderful if you're able to find it with a woman, amazing. But if not, and you feel like it'll be problematic, if you start somewhere, find a safe space you can have that conversation with. I think will be a starting point. Thank you so much for bringing that up. So, see you.
Good evening.
How are you?
I'm very well. I feel amazing.
Okay. I want to ask you, what inspired you to start the PANALOVE Foundation?
Well, I was inspired by the fact that I'm a musician. And I had a fan base, and I really love the idea of entertaining people, making them happy, making them dance, and letting them go home. But I wanted to do more because I'm educated. I came from a certain level of privilege and access, and I wanted to use that privilege to uplift my people. So I decided to put together a platform that educates people on health and wellness because I'm concerned with the health and wellness of my people, and I wanted to do something important and impactful to push those feelings out and make something happen in my community.
Why did you focus to concentrate on African youth and women?
African youth and women. Well, I'm an African woman myself. So I identify with African women because that's who I am as a person. Even though I was born in New York City, I've always identified with my Ghanaian roots. I'm a Ghanaian woman. My parents were born in Ghana, and their parents and their parents. I was always coming back to Ghana to visit. And I promised myself one day I would live here. So 2019, I moved here. And once I moved here, I said, I can't just live and be a citizen in Ghana. I have to actually make an impact. I have to actually use my privilege to do something good for my people because I was so far away from home for so long. There had to be a point to it. And the point was to get this vim, to get this inspiration, to bring it back home, you know, Sankofa and everything, and bring it home and do something really powerful in my country. So that's why I'm.
What message do you have for our viewers watching us who couldn't come?
Yes, for the viewers who couldn't come, today was a day of storytelling, vulnerability, information, and basically the main takeaway is that self-care is very, very important in your life. You only get one life, you only get one body, so you have to treat it the very best you can because we weren't put here to suffer. We were put here to enjoy life. We were put here to experience life in many ways. Even the bad ways, it's part of learning. But we have to find a way to navigate those bad ways and make it something positive. So today, overall, I think that was the message about how struggles in life can be depressing, can be oppressive, but there's a lesson behind it. And if we do the right things and we take care of ourselves well, we will find that lesson and we will grow from it and we will learn and be better people.
What's your name again and who are you? Finally, to our viewers.
My name is Delasi Anning, and I'm the founder and CEO of the PANALOVE Foundation.
Thank you so much.
Thank you too.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Hello, sir.
Hi, sir.
How are you?
I'm doing well. How are you doing?
I'm also doing good. Today they talked a lot. What message you want to send out to the world, especially Ghana, about this PANALOVE Summit?
So, my name is Mr. Selassie, and I'm a professional master of ceremonies. And I was privileged to host the conversations today. And I think so that gave me a unique perspective where I was at the center of everything that was happening. I got to not just facilitate the conversations, but also even contribute to them and learn so much from all the amazing people who are on our panel today. And so I think that key takeaway for me would be mental health is such an important conversation that needs to be had every single day. We need to move away from the stigma surrounding it. We need to demystify it. We need to understand that your mental health determines your overall health because everything happens and starts in the mind, right? And so it's important that as we move forward, we create more safe spaces for us to have these kind of conversations where we can talk freely about, stress management, postpartum depression, mental illnesses, just really a space where people can seek the help that they need and get it so that society overall would be better for it. And so I think moving away from here today, like everyone should know that number one, talking about mental health it shouldn't be a problem. It should be something that everyone is comfortable with. It should be something that everyone is encouraged to do, just so that we can be better for it. Yeah.
What final message do you have for our viewers who couldn't make it to this summit?
So I would say that look out for more events, more gatherings from the PANALOVE Summit. I want you to understand that every opportunity where we have people meeting to share their stories freely is one where you can definitely learn a lot. We've met so many different people with so many different perspectives, but it's all come together under one umbrella. The fact that mental health is important, and regardless of your career, regardless of your industry, you should be able to navigate it in a way that is responsible, safe. And so just look out for more events, look out for more activities, and be a safe space wherever you are so that other people can also, feel comfortable sharing and becoming better versions of themselves. Yeah.
Your name again and your position?
My name, I'm Mr. Selassie, and I'm a professional master of ceremonies, and I was proud to host this event today.
Thank you, and enjoy your day.
Thank you so much. Enjoy yours too. Okay.
You have enjoyed the program, right?
Oh yeah, the event has been such a very life-changing one. I feel like the Lassie has really done a great job because we need a lot of these to happen in the space of mental health. Because most of the time, people think mental health is all about mental illness, but people are actually going through a whole lot of mental health issues, even in a state of sanity, as we might see. Yes.
They highlighted a lot of, part. But which part were you most interested in?
Well, for me personally, I think that the interest of mental health for me goes beyond the personal level. It looks at the societal level. We're talking about like Pan Africanism. What is Africa's image out there? How do we get so much confidence to interact with other people? Do we have to feel down about ourselves? Do we need to go through like anxiety and panic attacks because of the fact that we feel like, oh, we are Africans, we are the lesser in the arena of dignity, you understand? So um, it talks, it actually touches my life, to appreciate more about the collective effort that we can do in coming together as African people and approaching the world as one people, because we cannot achieve a great Africa with broken minds. And so our minds need to be very powerful in order to conquer the world. Thank you so much.
So, are we going to see you the next PANALOVE Summit?
Oh, yes, of course.
You will tell a friend.
Oh, sure, of course, I will do that.
Thank you and enjoy the rest of your day.
You too.
All right?
Absolutely, and I'll be back next year.
So far, what have you learned so far about the program?
I'm happy to know that Ghana is now tackling mental health awareness. This is something that I've been wondering about for the longest time. So it actually it makes me happy to know that somebody is actually in that field bringing awareness, because I think most people in this country are suffering from psychosis, low and high. So it's good that the subject is now being discussed. Whereas people wouldn't be feeling shy to say, okay, I'm not doing well mentally today. Let me go to the hospital and check on myself, or let me call my therapist or psychiatrist. Just have somebody to talk to, not a friend who's going to tell you, oh, Charlie, you are fine. You go talk. No, you need to talk to an actual professional. So hopefully from this stage, there'll be actual medical care for the people with mental problems.
We talked about a lot of mental health issues. Which part did it touch you most?
All of it. All of it. Because, if somebody is not well mentally, they're finished. If you're not okay mentally, then what are you doing here? So the mental wellness is the first and most important thing. Self-care and mental wellness, or being mentally aware where you are in life.
Are we going to see you the next summit?
Oh yeah. Like, you're definitely going to see me. In fact, I have a problem with the last, even me not knowing about this until this year. So, Miss Ma'am, don't do that again. Thank you.
What message do you have for our viewers watching us who couldn't come?
If you missed this, you should try and come the following year, because I feel like great things start small, and something like this is it's such a mega thing that if the public doesn't actually get involved, then there's no point, because the awareness is being brought for the public. So, the smart thing would be for the viewers listening, especially those that feel like they may have some mental health issues or mental instabilities here and there. I would advise to either contact the organization or talk to somebody that can get you the help you need. And be gangster. Call the hospital and go yourself. Yeah, that's all.
Thank you and enjoy your rest of your day.
Thank you. Bye.